Okay, I think we're ready to start. We have some more people trickling in, but we're just going to get going. My name is Mike Peluso, president of Shawmut Communication Group. Awesome. Okay. What we're going to cover today is we're going to go over why we developed Insight, registering for an account, your Insight dashboard, viewing and managing projects, online proofs and approvals, file uploads, production file requests, storefront access, custom features, and product roadmaps. All of us here at Shawmut are really excited with the launch of Insight. Insight is a powerful online client dashboard tool that will help you manage products from the initial quote to its final destination. Insight has been developed entirely in-house and really is focused on solving client problems. It puts the client in the driver's seat for real-time access to production information so you always know where your job stands. As you'll see in the demo, Insight will help streamline communication and improve efficiency for everybody on your team. Insight provides a huge amount of data available for viewing job history as well as past proofs for the last 5 years. This level of data and a convenient online tool like Insight is rare within our industry, and we hope it makes your job a lot easier. At the end of the webinar, we'll briefly touch on a roadmap and some additional features planned for Insight. As you begin to use the tool, we encourage your feedback. A lot of what you'll say in that feedback will be used for future development. So, without further delay, I'm going to introduce our two speakers today. Our first one is Gabe Peluso, Director of Technology. He is our lead developer on Insight. And Julie Loisel from Neighborhood Health Plan, which is a client of ours. And she's going to go over some custom features that we've developed for her and how her team uses Insight on a daily basis. So let me push it over to Gabe, and he can start the demo.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. As you guys have questions, please feel free to shoot us a message in that chat window, and then at the end we'll address those. So this is Insight, this page that you're looking at here. The way you can find this URL is it's client.shawmutdelivers.com. You can find it from our website, and then many of our email communications also have a link to Insight as well. So your proof and file transfer notifications will also have a link to go here. When you find yourself on this page and you want to get access, you can just click this green Request Access button. And from this screen, we'll just ask for some information about who you are and what company you need access to. And we have an approval process that we'll go through just to make sure that the person requesting access gets access to the correct account. So it usually takes a few hours, sometimes up to a day. And you'll get another email that says your account's been activated, and then you can access Insight. So I've already gone through that process. Oh, one more thing. You can also, if you forget your password in the future, you can use the Reset Password link on the top right of the screen. So I have an example account that I'm going to log in with. And here we can see the user view for Insight. So on this main dashboard page, as of now, we have a widget showing the pending proofs, pending jobs, and of course, our tweets. As of now, there's 7 pending proofs for this client. This is NHP, and I also have 16 pending jobs for them right now. So when you log in, you'll see your data populated in these widgets. We have a lot of really cool plans for this dashboard page. We're going to have drag and dropped widgetized reports that update in real time, but this is what we have so far. So I'm going to jump right into the Projects tab, and this is really where we're going to see all of our job details. So we can click into Projects, and by default, it's going to restrict to the company that you have access to, and it will show all of your in-process jobs. So for NHP, there are 16 in-process jobs for them right now at Shawmut. This status filter here, you can see it's tough to see, but this button right here is depressed, and that's all the in-process jobs. So we can also show the completed jobs by clicking this green button as well and toggling that on. And then we can see that we actually have about 2,400 jobs in process. So my apologies, there's a little delay, so you guys should be seeing this now. So there's about 2,400 jobs for NHP in process and completed that we've done for them. So you can actually start looking through this data, and it's really, really interesting stuff to start slicing and dicing this data. So what I'm going to do is look up a product that we reprint many times throughout the year for this client. This is just their product ID, so this could be your PO number or maybe something in the job title or maybe a contact name, and you can just search very easily. So I'm going to search 10133. I'm just waiting for the webinar to catch up here. All right, so now we can see we've printed this product 12 times in the past. So we can click into any of these to see jobs, see the differences about when we printed them and what changed. Maybe we printed different quantities or with different paper or specs. We can also sort these results as well. So if you click on these headers, let's maybe sort it by the delivery date. We can sort it ascending and then click it again to sort it descending. And let's clear this out and let's view all of our in-process work again. So again, we're back to those 16 jobs. Another great thing about this screen after you get through searching is we can edit the column headers that appear here. So I'm going to remove the company name because I know this is NHP. And I'm going to add in the CSR. And let me add in the sales rep. This will show us a little picture of the CSR and the sales rep. And maybe we want to have, maybe we don't care about the delivery date, but we really care about the proof date. And I'm also going to add in another field. And these are all kind of fun, and you can experiment with the different fields and see what they do. But this one's really neat. It's the progress bar. And we're going to add that in right after the proof date. And let's go back to our job view, and we'll see how it's changed. Still waiting for the webinar to catch up. We're having kind of internet slowdowns here, so my apologies on that. Okay, so you can see that we have the job number, the CSR, the sales rep, this little picture, that's Mike, there's Linda. And on the right here, we have the proof date. And if we hover over these, it shows us, in a nice human readable time. And then it also shows us this progress indicator. So we can see where these jobs are in the plant, and we'll get into more of that once we start looking through some of these jobs. So I'm going to quickly look up a job, and the easiest way to do that is you can click on any of these as well, but I'm going to use this job lookup tool on the left here, and this is available from any page, so it's kind of helpful. And I'm going to put in a Shawmut job number. And we'll view a job. All right. So this is a newsletter for NHP, and what we'll see in this top window, this general job information panel, is, well, first of all of these panels can be open and closed, so you can kind of focus in on what you want to look at. Everything here works on a mobile device, so it was designed to work on a mobile phone first, which is why we have these collapsible panels. On the left here, we'll see, of course, the CSR, the sales rep. We'll also see the quote that's tied to this job. So these are the quotes you're already dealing with for Shawmut, so we can click on one of these and take a look. Very cool. We can see the quote. It'll be here forever, and we can always come back here and reference this quote several years from now. We have our PO number, the order type, so it looks like this is a reprint with changes. And then we also have a button that takes us to the last job. So if you remember when we looked up that previous product, it had been printed like 12 or 13 times. You can kind of just very quickly go to the last time it was printed and see what was different about it. Right here we have some dates. And if we hover over any of these dates, we get a human readable time. So it's very intuitive. So it's going to show us when it was ordered, when it was supposed to proof, when it was on press, and then when it's slated to deliver. On the right here, we're actually showing a preview of the art. And we get this from the proof when it goes into our proofing workflow. So you'll only see the preview after a job has started its proofing process. but it stays there forever, and it's very, very nice. So, a year from now, 2 years from now, when you come look up this job, and it's like, well, what was up with this job? You can very quickly see a little preview of it. It's really helpful. Down here in this progress indicator, we can see this is going to show where the job is in our plant. And this is working from a myriad of scans that we have throughout our plant, which we use for data collection. We've used them for a very long time, and what we've done is we've taken all these scans and we've grouped them into logical areas so that as they're being scanned in real time, you can see when they move through different parts of our plant. So I'm going to pull up a better example of this. Just duplicate this and look up another job. 155.9. Okay, awesome. So this is another job for MHP, and in this one, the progress indicator is pending client approval for the proof. So this is really communicating to you, the user, that hey, we can't really produce this job until you go in here and approve it. So it is really useful to have, and this is the same thing that will appear on that the job lookup screen if you add it with that progress column header. All right, so after progress, we have our components and our component specs. So if we click on these, it will show us the quantity of each component. Now again, components are pieces of a job. That's the best way to describe it. So if you have a job for Shawmut that has an envelope, a brochure, and a letterhead, we might put it on one job, but there might be 3 different components. So you can click into each one and see the specs about them. We have the finish size, the flat size, the press size, if it has bleeds, the paper it prints on. This is really, really helpful. So this component prints on 70-pound accent opaque smooth text with a color of white. We also show the specs for how we're actually producing the job. What kind of folds we're doing, if it wafer seals, all the pre-press work we're doing, and then we're actually showing a preview of the inks. So in this case, it's a 4-color process, which is CMYK. So we show you a little indicator of that. I'm actually going to pull up a different job to show a better example of this. Pull up this asthma control book, and if we click into the component specs for this, we can see there's actually a PMS color in this. So this is a 5-color job. So it is very helpful. I'm waiting for the webinar to catch up. Sorry about that. There we go. So here's where it shows there's a PMS color involved as well. So it is very helpful when you're coming back and reviewing previous jobs, looking at the specs, so that when you do a reprint of a job, you know exactly what we did last time. You have the same information that we have here in our system. All right, so that's components. The next thing is shipments. So if we open up the shipments tab, we can see that for this job, there's 4 shipments. So we have different types of shipments. There's actually like 5 or 6 different types, but the most common ones are proof shipments, regular shipments, sample shipments, and inventory shipments. And those are denoted down here where we have this little icon here. So this is a proof shipment, and this is a regular shipment. Completed shipments show up as green. So this one's completed already, which means we've delivered this entire job. So remember, we have that proof. We made the preview from it that's on the top right. So you'll have access to those proofs, and they're available. They're hosted in the cloud. We've decided here at Shawmut that we're going to host all client proofs in the cloud for free for 5 years. So that means, 3 or 4 years from now, you can come back to this job, click on this old proof, download it, take a look at it, send it to one of your colleagues, and it'll just be there for you. We're also keeping all revisions. So that's why there's 3 here. If you look here, there's 2 that were rejected, and then this one right here, this green one on the left, was approved. So this is the approved proof. And all of these are going to be available. Any of these you can click into to see more details about them. It will show a lot breakdown, and then you can also download the proof with this link. So in this case, it was a direct link to a PDF. In some cases, if there's more than one lot, in this case there's just one lot, but if there's more than one lot, it'll actually be a zip file, and you'll have to download a zip file and open it. So our proofs have been hosted like this, probably going back 8 to 10 months. Anything before that won't have proofs in the system, but 8 to 10 months ago, going forward 5 years, they'll be hosted. Okay. We'll also talk about approving and rejecting proofs a little bit later. The last thing on this page I want to show is uploading. So most clients have used our web uploader before. If you've ever gone to our website and uploaded a file, you're actually using Insight. That's part of the same system. So the benefit of doing that, on top of it being, very secure and fast, is it's going to show up here on the job. So in this case, we can see the designer uploaded these 2 files on this date, and we can click into this like everything else on here, and we can see some details about it. We can see the comments that the designer put, the files that they uploaded, the size of them. So it's very helpful. It's another piece of information here that's on the same page. So this is another benefit of using our file uploader on the website, is because now it's tying all your data together in this nice little package. But if you were to send us a file over email, or if you said, hey, can you grab this from this Dropbox link, or can you grab this from my FTP, we're more than happy to do that for you, but it won't show up here later on when you go to look for it. So just something to keep in mind. So yeah, having all the information here on this one page is very, very helpful. We use it internally here, and it's very comfortable to pull up on a phone or a tablet and just see where the job is in the plan. So that's the gist of it. And Julie, you've used this a lot as well, right?
Yep, we use it often when we want to refer back, or even just refer what proofs are open right now. We can make sure that they're not open for too long.
Awesome, awesome.
Being able to look at it real time has been able to cut down communication back and forth to Linda, because I'm able to just see where it is instead of asking, where is it, when will it deliver? I can see it, I can check it out, and I can see if it's maybe proofing that's holding it up or something else.
That's great. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, so we're trying to be very transparent in showing you this information, because we feel that it's going to cut down on time, make things just better overall. But in general, everything on Insight is completely optional. I should make that clear. I should have made it clear from the beginning. You certainly don't have to do any of this. And if you ever want to call us and check on something via email, however you're comfortable, that's completely fine as well. All right. So the next thing I want to show on this screen is a way that you can get production files. And this is a way for you to tap into our file archive to get the latest and greatest production files whenever you want. So a really good example is if you ever reprint a job and you want to make some changes to that file, maybe you want to update something that changed. When we take in your jobs, we're more than likely we're changing your files a little bit, because your designers aren't aware of what exactly have a repository of your own files, an archive that you guys keep. This is allowing you to tap into ours. So the way that you do that is on the right side of every project, there's a button that says Get Production Files. And you click that, and a little window will pop up. Just waiting for the webinar to, there we go. So a window will pop up. It will have the contact's email address for the job pre-populated, but you're welcome to change it. You can just put in whatever you want. I'll put in my email address. And then you just click Submit. And what this will do is it will actually reach into our archives, get all of our production files, zip them up into one little bundle, and then it sends a link to that to the contact in this email. So I'll show you a quick example of what that looks like. Here's one I've done before, a few days ago. So here's the email that my contact would get, and we can just click this button that says Download File, and it's going to download this zip. I'm going to open that up, and inside this zip is another folder, and inside that folder are all of our production files. So this is everything that Shawmut has to produce the job protected health information if it's a HIPAA job. That stuff is somewhere else that's encrypted. But it's everything else. So that means it's a PDF proof, the source InDesign files, or Illustrator files, original files that were uploaded, so the ones that you guys should have on your archive. It will also have any notes from our pre-press team on things that they changed. And in this case, because it's a storefront job, we have another folder called Storefront Assets. And if we open up that, it looks like there's a fulfillment RFQ in here that it gets posted to our storefront. So there's a lot of really good stuff in here, and it's available for you whenever you want just by clicking that button. One note is that process can take a little bit. If it's a small job, it usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. If it's a larger job that's maybe 3 or 4 gigabytes in size, it might take an hour or two. So just keep that in mind. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show is the Proofs tab. So we already saw how to look up proofs here from the job screen, but this is from the Proofs tab that shows up here on the left. So it's a little bit different, but this is a gallery view of all of the proofs that go through Insight for your account. And by default, it shows everything. So we can filter these as well. So let's say only show me the pending proofs, and then we have these 7. So we can click into one of these, and we can see, okay, I have the lots in here. I have 3 different lots in this proof, so this will download a zip. And then we can actually approve or reject them right from this screen. And I won't actually do it in this case, but I'll click on this button, and when you go to approve or reject something, it'll ask for some comments, and you can pass those along to your CSR. So this is very similar to what your CSR is already doing if you email them and say, this is approved. It cuts them out of the mix and it goes right into production. So it saves a step and it gets there a little bit quicker. So again, we got to the screen from the View Proofs tab, but we can also find these proofs from the job, and you can also get here a little bit faster from those proof notification emails. So here's an example of one of those proof notification emails. You might be seeing these already. It has a little thumbnail of the job. You can download the proof by clicking this link. Here's that zip that has the different lots in there. So this should look pretty familiar. So we've just downloaded the proof and taken a look at it by clicking that blue Download Proof button. But there's also another link below, this one that says Approve or Deny Your Proof. And if you click on that, it'll prompt you to log in with Insight. If you're logged in, you'll get right to the screen. So there's multiple ways of accessing it. You can get to it from the email, from the Proofs tab, or from the job in the Proofs section. And this, again, this is a proof, so it's going to be hosted here on the web for 5 years. Okay. So that's proofs. The next thing is our uploader. So this is our web uploader. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it, or you might have told your designers to go to shawmutdelivers.com, click on Tools, and then upload a file. That actually is Insight, so it's the same thing. If you are logged into Insight and you go to the web uploader with this File Transfer tab, it'll actually look a little bit different because we know exactly who you are. We don't have to ask you all those different questions. So I can show you quickly what it looks like if you're not logged in. So this is what it looks like right now for most of you if you don't have Insight accounts. But if you log in, it will look like this. And all you have to do is say, well, I'm part of this company, and here are my comments. And you're done. You just drag and drop your files, and it'll start uploading, the uploading process. Then all of these files that get uploaded will get tied into the job on Insight, and you'll be able to see it on the job later on. So it's very helpful. And for anyone who doesn't know, this web uploader, it's using some really good web technology where we can drag and drop files directly into the browser. We can upload multiple files. I think we set up a limit of 4 or 5 gigabytes, so it can take some very, very large files. And everything is secure. It's going through TLS encryption, so it is a very secure way of sending Shawmut files, and it gets to us very fast. We actually have a pre-flight system which is tied into this. So if you send us a packaged InDesign file that you zip up and you upload it here, your CSR, within a few minutes of your upload completing, will get a PDF made from that InDesign file that has all these pre-flight statistics. So it will show them if there's missing fonts, missing links. And we've had this in place for over a year now. And it's been very helpful for us identifying issues with files, because previous to that, we would have to send something into prepress, which would take some time, and then they would say, well, hey, we're missing this font. Can you send it back and go get it? And it was adding this time to the job. So this whole process is very streamlined if everyone uses this uploader. Okay. The last thing I want to touch on are linked storefronts. If you have a storefront account with Shawmut, you can link that to your Insight account so that you don't have to log into your storefront anymore. It's very, very helpful. So I'm going to click on this. So I got to this from the storefront tab, and all I did was click on my linked storefront. And you can add as many of these as you want. So you might have an administrative view of the storefront. You might also have sales users and marketing users who see the view a little bit differently. So you can very easily have all those views available to you and click on them to instantly log you in. And here's what that would look like. This is an HP storefront. So the idea is that we want to tie in all of Shawmut services into Insight. So you just log into this one place and have everything available to you. Okay. And with that, I think we'll move on to an example of a custom module that Shawmut built for NHP, which is this code picker. So Julie, do you mind talking a little bit about what this is?
Sure. This code picker was created because we were doing a large volume of printing all at once, and we needed a way to assign codes prior to printing them. So instead of it bouncing back and forth in one long list of emails of we need 30 codes, here's 30 codes, no, we need this many, and back and forth, this module was built for everybody's use. I use it, Linda uses it, and I know that other CSRs use it too when we need a new code. Our codes have a unique 5-digit identifier at the beginning. The middle 4 digits, so you see over there, is 1215, is the month and the year it was printed, and the 00s at the end of those are the versions. So those are all brand new. So every time we look at it, we know how many times it's been printed and when the last file was updated. So let's go into register new code.
Sure. Do you want to do a reprint with changes?
Yeah.
And we can look up, maybe we can look up that enrollment form.
Sure. This is an example of something that we've already printed. It already has a number. So this
Awesome. And I think the big benefit of this system and why it's so great is that anyone can use it, but we never have to worry about us registering a duplicate code. And that makes sure that all of the codes that we're using are unique. So if Shawmut needs to register a code for something for NHP, we can jump in and do that. If somebody at NHP needs to register a code, they can do it as well. And we never have to worry about there being collisions in the code. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
So this is kind of a simple but a cool example of how we can just tack on a little feature onto Insight if you guys have a business problem that needs to be solved. We're developing this entirely in-house. So as we come up with cool ideas and we get feedback from you, we're more than happy to implement new features that we can roll out to all of our clients' benefit. So with that, I'd like to transfer it back to Mike so he can talk about some of the new features we plan on.
Sure, that sounds good. The future of Insight is bright. We think it's going to be a great tool for our clients to use, and we have really 3 major items on the docket for 2016. We're looking at a quoting wizard that we can allow clients to go in and do simple quotes for budgetary reasons, to go in and get information pretty fast and available. That is coming, and we're looking hopefully to roll that out next year. But again, we'll have to figure out where that is a nice tool. We see that clients are always looking to manage their files a little differently. Everybody has different needs, whether it's logos or housing other information on that site. Manager, we feel that we can develop here through some metadata and use it as a repository for clients to access or designers to use. And then a project management tool, and this is a big one. We see that a lot of clients are still using emails back and forth. Some of the clients have migrated to similar software called Basecamp is a good example of one. But we think that using a project management tool that we can tap into Insight will be a huge advantage for our clients. The project management tool would have milestones, it will have schedules, it could be print related or non-print related, but it will just be a tool for our clients to use to manage projects all the way upstream through Insight. Event that will happen, that will probably be at the end of the year, but we're looking into partnering with some existing software currently. That's really the enhancements that we have on the docket. But again, Insight is really going to be focused on what our customers drive us to. If there are custom integrations that you want to see, there's information that we don't have on the site, please let us know, make suggestions, and we'll put that into our development cycle. So I think that's it for the future. We're going to push it over to Michelle Wheeland, our marketing manager, and she's going to field the questions from the webinar, and hopefully we can answer a few of them.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. So one of the questions that we had come in, and if anyone has any more, feel free to type them into the chat panel, but was regarding some proof. People were curious if they have a question regarding the proof. Is that something that they can enter to email to do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. For now, they will have to go back to email or call us because we don't really have a mechanism of dealing with questions yet. Also planned a support panel that will be part of Insight, where from any page, whether it be a job or proof or file, you can say, I have a question about this, and it'll very quickly go to somebody who can help you, whether that's a live chat or somebody who can go through a ticket system and follow up. We haven't really decided yet, but that's definitely to come. But as of now, you're kind of stuck with email if you have specific questions about proofs.
Okay. The next question we have here is, Mike, you were speaking about this a little earlier with regards to the project management module that we're going to tack on to Insight as an enhancement down the road. But but just trying to figure out how that ties into existing project management software that clients may already have.
Yeah, we've looked a little bit into some of these project management tools, and most of them have APIs that hook up to it. So with Gabe's development here, he has APIs built that we could flush into existing software. It's just a matter of contacting those particular people and development on that side and integrating it together.
Great. So essentially, clients will be able to still use what they're using today and potentially hook up to what we have in Insight, or use the module we developed within Insight for projects.
That's correct. Okay. We could probably use it both ways.
Great. Another question we have here is regarding how quickly changes will appear on Insight. So if a customer makes a change, or if the CSR makes a change, how quickly will they see that on the front end?
Yeah, those changes appear instantly. So if there's a problem with a delivery date, or if there's something that changes with one of your pieces of shipping information, if you see it on Insight, that's the way it is in our system. So if you call us up and say, well, hey, this has to actually deliver to this address, we'll make that change, and you should be able to refresh your browser and instantly see it. So it's pulling from the same data source as soon as you load the page.
Okay. Another question we have here is about getting the rest of their team on Insight. How would they go about doing that?
Yep, if you want to get other people on your team to kind of collaborate with you on Insight, that's great. We can do that by setting them up the same way we're going to set you up, which is go to the Insight homepage, which again is client.shawmutdelivers.com, and click that Request Access button, and have your teammates fill that out as well. And it'll go through our approval process just like everything else. What will probably happen is we'll probably reach out to the account administrator we already have, and we'll just check to make sure that that person can have access, or what kind of access they should have. Right now we have kind of two levels of permissions. We have a designer, and then we have a user administrator. So designers can just upload files directly to your account, where user administrators have access to everything that we saw today. But in the future, we're going to have some more roles that'll be between that. So if you have maybe a group of users who can view proofs but maybe can't view job specs, we'll be able to handle that as well in the future.
Okay. Looks like we have one more question here, which I think we may have mentioned this before during the webinar, but just about mobile compatibility, and if somebody's outside of the office or they're traveling on business, are they going to be able to access Insight?
Yeah, Insight is completely mobile ready. We experimented with making a mobile app, but by designing the website to work so well for mobile, it works as well as a mobile application. So please give it a shot, pull it up on your phone, and pull up a proof and see how it works.
Okay, and we have another question that just came in. So can the business development use this tool for on-demand printing?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, we can, it's a complicated answer though, because we can do on-demand printing two different ways now because of something we developed. Just from Insight, you can actually send us like a PDF, and we'll just print it. It actually cuts through everything on the front end here at Shawmut. So a CSR isn't involved, the salesperson isn't involved. It actually just goes right to the print device, and we'll print and finish. So it means we can really get our price down. We can get material to go through the plant very, very fast, but it only works with a certain type of product. It has to be kind of a niche program. So if you're interested in on-demand printing, definitely follow up with your sales rep, and we'd love to do like a more in-depth meeting with you and talk about it.
Okay. It looks like that's all we have in for questions right now. So we'll wrap up just a little bit early here, give you back some time in your day, which I'm sure you all appreciate.
I want to personally thank everybody for their business, and I want to thank Julie for coming on this call today and helping us out with this webinar. And hopefully we get some good suggestions and we find ways to develop Insight to make your job easier. Happy holidays, everybody.